Hello, my name is Hannah Evans, and I'm going to be talking about eating disorders today. Eating disorders can be a very rare disorder that is oftentimes overlooked. The National Eating Disorder Association states that 4% of adolescents and teens suffer from some type of eating disorder that can conclude of anorexia nervosa, bulimia nervosa, and binge eating disorder. It is estimated that about 10 million men and 20 million women will struggle with an eating disorder at some point in their lifetime. Growing up at the age 16, I was diagnosed with anorexia nervosa. I was concerned about my weight, constantly checking the scale and not eating. Eating disorders are much more than eating too much or too little of food. It takes over your whole mental health. Eating disorders have always been associated with straight, young, white females, but regardless of your age, gender, race, or background, these illnesses can actually affect anyone. It is estimated that 10 million men and 20 million women will struggle with an eating disorder at some point in their lifetime. Only a third of people in the U.S. will receive treatment for an eating disorder. It's time to start recognizing these eating disorders as a public health crisis and stop ignoring this serious issue among people today. We're also now going to talk about the types of eating disorders. The first one is anorexia nervosa. This is an eating disorder in which someone has had significant weight loss. People will generally start to restrict their calorie intake due to a fear of gaining weight and becoming fat. With the media constantly proposing ideas of being skinny and looking a certain way, people begin to think that they need to look that way too. Some signs of someone who may be suffering from anorexia, they could show dramatic weight loss, denying feeling hungry, and continues to make comments about feeling fat. Anorexia can be very dangerous to the human body. Starving yourself can damage your vital organs. Not only that, it can shift your body into a slower gear, stopping women's menstrual periods. Blood pressure's rates can drop, and thyroid function start to slow down. Eating disorders can lead to significant mental health illnesses such as anxiety, depression, and obsessive compulsive disorder. The next one is bulimia nervosa. This is a life-threatening eating disorder. It can be caused when a person has behaviors of making themselves vomit to reverse the binge eating. People with bulimia eat during a period of time larger meals than most would eat during that period of time. Also, people may have a lack of control over eating. Bulimia can leave harmful effects on people's bodies as well. The stomach can rupture from binge eating. The acid of the vomit can wear the layers of your teeth. And when vomiting, the esophagus can become significantly inflamed. Some significant symptoms of bulimia can include fear of eating in public, using the restroom after eating, and following fad diets such as cutting out entire food groups that is necessary, such as like dairy, sugar. Lastly, the most common eating disorder of the United States is binge eating. When people have recurring episodes of eating large quantities of food in a certain period of time, feeling loss of control during the episode. Binge eating can cause significant health conditions as well to the body. People can experience high cholesterol, high blood pressure, and some types of cancers can be developed. Some symptoms of binge eating can include frequent diets, creating time for binge sessions, and feeling of digest and depression from overeating. You think that people would have a choice and just flip a switch and try and eat normal. However, people suffering from this illness and have complex medical and psychiatric illnesses that they do not choose to live with. From a public health perspective, warning signs of these illnesses can go years without being detected, and people find themselves too embarrassed to seek help. Eating disorders have one of the highest mortality rate of a mental health disorder. These illnesses collide with many other public health issues, such as substance abuse, for disorders, depression, anxiety, and obesity. We're going to go ahead and move into the disorder statistics. Let's see here. Body disorder as a public health issue. There are 33% to 50% of people who suffer from anorexia that have a mood disorder such as depression, according to the Nation Association of Anorexia Nervosa and Associated Disorders. There are about 26% of people with eating disorders that have attempted to commit suicide. To put this into perspective, today, the United States uses 93 cents to spend on each eating disorder research per individual diagnosed with an eating disorder. Compared to other diagnoses such as Alzheimer's, where they spend 81 per individual or $44 for autism research, this really isn't a common problem that is researched or a lot of money being spent on it. Since eating disorders is such a problem that's continuing to grow, where a person's dying every 62 minutes due to an eating disorder, the CDC and public health officials should really start investing more time into this public health problem. It is a really life-threatening eating disorder. It's something that should be looked at more closely by public health officials. We're going to move into the groups eating disorder effects. Eating disorders can be found among different populations. For the first one, such as athletes, there can be a lot of pressure on athletes for performance related to a person's size and shape. The pressure to win while maintaining a certain body shape can be very toxic to humans, and the competition can cause psychological and physical stress. Division I NCAA athletes have over 1/3 of female athletes report symptoms that could lead to anorexia nervosa. Another group affected by eating disorders are teens and college-age students. An analysis was done in a Journal of School Nursing, including 12,000 teens ages 15 to 17. Of those, 11.6% have misjudged their weight and see themselves as overweight, but actually aren't. There are 81% of 10 years who are afraid of becoming fat. Elementary students are at high risk for being bullied for their weight in school. According to a study done in 2011 by the American College Health Association National College Health Assessment, they conclude that eating disorders among college students range from 8% to 17% of people with eating disorders. The LGBTQ community is also affected by anorexia nervosa. They are also at high risk for developing eating disorders. Gay males are 7 times more likely to report binging and 12 times more likely to report purging than those of heterosexual males. Also, females who identify themselves as lesbian or bisexual were about twice as likely to report binge eating at least once per month last year. Due to the stereotype that eating disorders are mostly found in women, this is not true. Men have a harder time seeking help for their eating disorders. In the U.S. alone, eating disorders can affect 10 million males at some point in their lives. All right, and also people of different ethnicities and color. People of color can also be at risk for developing this eating disorder. People of color are significantly less likely to receive help for an eating disorder due to resources not being available. In a study including adolescents, researchers found that Hispanics were more likely to suffer from bulimia nervosa than their non-Hispanic peers. The research also reported a trend toward a higher prevalence of binge eating disorders within minority groups. Lastly, Black teenagers are 50% more likely than white teenagers to exhibit bulimic behavior like binging and purging. Based on these statistics, it shows that it doesn't matter, your race, your age, and identity. It can become present among many different people. Fortunately, there are organizations that are being looked at and are investing time in helping people with eating disorders. The first one that we're going to look at is the National Eating Disorder Association. They're the largest organization supporting people within communities affected by eating disorders. They have information and resources to help those who are struggling. NEDA has preventive programs in place to educate people on eating disorders. Centers for Disease Control are also playing a role in eating disorders. They are noticing that eating disorders are becoming a dangerous problem to the public. They have included this illness in the national data collection to monitor what is happening within communities around the country. This has allowed public health officials to notice trends and patterns among people who suffer from eating disorder. There is no doubt that eating disorders are turning into a public health crisis. There needs to be more funding for research. Medical professionals need to become better educated to notice signs that a patient may be having an eating disorder, and insurance companies should also have more groups and coverage available for those who are struggling with this illness. Ways to prevent this from occurring. For primary prevention for eating disorders, to reduce negative factors in your life, don't compare yourself to others and talk down on yourself. Don't let what other people say about you get to your head. Second, primary prevention to eating disorders can include going to prevention programs and educational talks on eating disorders, maybe trying to find a counselor or someone to talk to about how you're feeling. A third prevention strategy would be to seek help, get diagnosed by a medical health professional before it's too late, or check yourself into a mental health hospital to prevent lifelong health conditions. If more people realized how life-threatening this illness can be to people, we can save many lives by letting them know to not be afraid and acknowledge to find help for this illness. And that will be the end of my presentation. Thank you.